annual Grammy Award, which was meant to honor hip-hop's greatest artists, turned into something unexpected. When Eminem and 50 Cent took the stage, everything changed. They didn't come to perform or celebrate. They came to challenge it all. What happened next was a bold moment that shocked the system. In this video, we will show you how they expose Grammy secrets on live TV. Let's dive in. Eminem walked to the microphone holding a piece of paper. His face was serious, but his body language said it all. This wasn't about selling records or reliving old moments. This was going to be a bold statement with millions watching. 50 Cent stood behind him, arms crossed, quietly watching. He wasn't speaking, but he knew what was coming. Letting Eminem take the lead. Eminem slammed the paper onto the mic stand, making sure the cameras caught it. His voice was loud enough for everyone to hear. This is a list of artists who deserve to win, and the ones who did instead. 50 Cent chuckled from behind. Man, this has been going on for years. The audience shifted in their seats, whispers growing. Some saw this coming, others were shocked. The host sitting at the side looked frozen. This wasn't the safe conversation they had planned. Eminem, his eyes scanning the list written in the paper. So they want to talk about hip-hop's legacy? Let's talk about how they've ignored it for years. Let's talk about the legends they've left out on purpose. The room grew quiet. 50 Cent stepped forward and added, "Ever notice how the same people win over and over while the real ones never get their moment? Some know how to play the game while the rest of them act like we don't even exist." Behind the scenes, producers were in chaos. The teleprompter had nothing for this, but it didn't matter. The truth was out. The lights were bright, but the room had grown cold. No one was clapping. No one was laughing. Eminem held up the paper, letting the cameras capture it. No words needed. The names on that list said everything. Legends missing from the Grammy winners list. Names that should have been there, but weren't. He spoke again. "They've been doing this for years." His voice steady. This anger built up over time. "They use us when they need us. We perform. We sell out arenas. But when it's time to give real respect, to hand out awards that matter." He looked at 50 Cent, then back to the audience. "They act like we don't exist." The audience shifted, leaning forward, glancing at one another. Everyone knew exactly what he meant. No one had ever said it like this before. Eminem took a deep breath and spoke up again. DMX dropped the biggest rap albums for 2 years straight. But guess what? Not a single Grammy, not even a nomination. 50 Cent laughed softly, shaking his head. "Say that again, man." "I don't think they heard you." Eminem didn't flinch. DMX had the biggest albums back-to-back and got nothing. The crowd started whispering. It was out in the open now. He moved on. Nas, one of the greatest rappers ever, but he didn't win a Grammy for nearly 30 years. Snoop Dogg 0? Tupac 0. 50 Cent stepped forward, looking out at the crowd. "They act like they respect us. Let us perform, headline, and carry the whole show. But when the awards come, they hand them to someone else." Eminem nodded in agreement. Eminem gripped the mic tighter. "This isn't about me. It's about everyone who's been ignored before us and still is today." 50 Cent took the mic, eyes scanning the crowd. Some shifted in their seats. Others were locked in. Then with a smile, he said, "You all remember 2004. A few murmurs spread. They knew where he was going. "I do," he said, shaking his head. "That was the year I lost Best New Artist to Eminence." The tension was thick. It wasn't just that he lost. It was that he had one of the biggest albums of all time. Get Rich or Die Trying was a cultural movement. Yet they gave the award to a rock band. I knew right then this was rigged. Eminem stayed quiet, arms crossed, letting 50 speak his truth. Now, no disrespect to Evanescence, but let's be real. The room was completely silent. 50 Cent spoke. "You want to know how fake this whole thing is? My album, the one that ruled the year, lost Best Rap Album to Speakerboxx, The Love Below." He paused, his voice steady. "I respect Outkast, but do you really think their album was bigger than mine?" A few gasps filled the air. No one dared to answer. Eminem added, "This is what happens when hip-hop takes over. They change the rules. When they can't ignore us, they find someone else to reward." 50 Cent agreed. "Exactly. They'll let us break records, run the game, but when it's time to give us credit, they look away." The audience sat frozen, unsure of how to respond. It was clear the conversation was just beginning. Eminem flipped over a sheet of paper showing the list of the biggest Grammy snubs. On the back were the names of the winners who knew how to play the game. He said, "These are the people who figured out how to win." The room shifted. Some leaned in, others pulled back. Eminem's voice was sharp. "This isn't just about talent. It's about who the industry picks to win. If you don't follow their rules, you will never win, no matter how good you are. The host, clearly losing control, tried to speak up about how the Grammys have recognized hip-hop. Eminem interrupted, shaking his head. No, they haven't. He pointed to the paper again. They give a few trophies to the same artists over and over just to say, see, we support hip-hop. 50 Cent grinned. But what happens when someone comes along who doesn't fit their idea of what hip-hop should be? Eminem turned the page to the snub list and replied, they bury you. The room was silent now, everyone hanging on his every word. This wasn't just a rant. It was an eye-opening truth. Eminem spoke again. They let a few people win, just enough to keep things quiet. But if you don't play by their rules, if you don't fit their image, they will cast you aside. Some in the audience looked at each other, recognizing the truth in his words. Then 50 Cent gave a sharp laugh. And don't even get me started on who gets Grammys over true hip-hop legends. Eminem, with a grind face, replied, oh, we're getting there. At that moment, it was clear this wasn't just a speech. This was a wake-up call. Eminem let the silence sit. The audience fidgeted, whispers filling the air. They could feel the tension, wondering where he would take this next. Then he dropped the bomb. Eminem, while lifting the paper, said again, and some people figured out how to play the game. 50 Cent stepped forward, smirking. Oh yeah, some people cracked the code. Everyone knew what was coming. 50 Cent exhaled sharply, pointing his finger to Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Not a word was spoken. This was a direct shot. 50 Cent spoke up without holding back. Jay, you know I'm right. You learned how to play the game, and they rewarded you for it. Cent also added, I get it. You do what you have to do, but be real with me. Do you think they would have let DMX or Nas win over and over like you did? Then 50 Cent dropped a bombshell. Ever wonder why Blue Ivy got a Grammy before some of the greatest hip-hop artists? Jay-Z and Beyoncé looked shocked as they heard this. 50 Cent looked around the room. Some of you will pretend you don't see it, but we all know after tonight, no one can ignore it. For a moment, the music industry seemed to hold its breath. Silence filled the air and nobody knew how to react. Eminem and 50 Cent hadn't just criticized the Grammys. They had torn the whole system apart in front of millions. Eminem leaned against the podium, finished. But before leaving the mic, he made one last statement. We don't need your trophies. We've made history without you. He let the paper fall to the podium like it meant nothing. 50 Cent chuckled, looking at the crowd, the cameras, and the people who refused to look at him. Jay, I ain't mad at you, but I'm not playing this game. And with that, they walked off the stage. The footage went viral in minutes. Fans couldn't believe it happened for real. Some called Eminem and 50 Cent the bravest, saying they revealed the truth that had been whispered for years. Others disagreed, saying they crossed a line by bringing Jay-Z and Beyoncé into it, burning bridges in the process. The Grammys quickly issued a statement, claiming they've always supported hip-hop, but it felt empty. The damage had already been done. Reports say Jay-Z and Beyoncé were shocked when they heard what 50 Cent said. Jay-Z, who once boycotted the Grammys, now found himself at the heart of the very issue he fought against. Beyoncé, always calm, stayed silent. But the real question is, what happens next? One thing's clear now. The music industry is shaken after Eminem and 50 Cent exposed the Grammys on live TV. With the truth out, will the industry change, or will they find another way to keep the game rigged? Share your thoughts on the comment. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts on the comment. Thanks for watching.